Hi there, I'm Rex King. Welcome back to another episode where I review films currently in theaters. Today I am talking about The Devil Conspiracy. The Devil Conspiracy is about Lucifer, played by Joe Anderson, commanding a cult of worshippers to steal the Shroud of Christ, which has a piece of Christ's DNA on it, to clone Christ and implant an embryo with said clone into a woman so he can possess said woman to be born into said child so he can roam the earth again. So it's up to Michael, who possesses the body of a dead priest, played by Joe Doyle, to stop Lucifer's resurrection. Now this plot sounds convoluted, ridiculous, and nothing at all like a film that would work. That's because it kind of is. This movie, I'll give it this much. It's an original idea. We haven't seen a film like this in a while. This is like one of those films I expect to see on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day. It's has religious aspects, horror aspects, and science fiction aspects. It's just kind of a little bit of everything. And at some points, this works for the film because it realizes how ridiculous and over top these concepts are. At other times, it tries to take itself very seriously and it doesn't work because the story makes no sense. And honestly, when it tries to take itself seriously, it becomes so boring. Like the pacing goes to a slow crawl in those scenes, and it just doesn't work. So the story is a mismatch of bad ideas that just don't work, and I really don't know what they were trying to accomplish. So I give the story a 4 out of 10. The characters, uh, well, no one here is three-dimensional. Michael is your stereotypical stoic good guy. Lucifer is your taunting bad guy. I mean, I know these are characters who have been around for like ever. Like these are actual beings from the Bible, so a lot of people are gonna know who these guys are. But if you do not care or do not know anything about the Archangel Michael and the Archangel Lucifer, you are gonna be so bored by these two. It doesn't help that really nobody in this film is written all that well. They're all just kind of one dimensional fops who are just there. So I'm gonna give the characters a 2 out of 10. At the end of the day, they're just ugh. Then we come to the performances, and the performances aren't terrible. They're passable. I'll use that. They all are trying to do different things though. Like Joe Doyle and Joe Anderson are decently enough as Michael and Lucifer, and they bounce off each other really well. But then you have the henchman and the woman who's impregnated with Lucifer's child, and they're all acting like they're in different movies because some are taking this very seriously and then some are not at all. So I really don't think they were given great direction here. The performers are trying, but it just doesn't come through all that well. But I do applaud the effort, so 5 out of 10 on the performance. Then we have the visual style. And oh boy, the visuals here are a mixed bag. Now, when we're looking at Michael as an archangel and Lucifer as an archangel, believe it or not, the CGI actually works really well. And they actually do a decent amount of practical effects in this film. So, for the most part, I think the visuals are pretty good. It's just, unfortunately, the film does have a couple moments where the CGI is like cartoonishly bad. There's a scene with an ultrasound that just look, and there's some scenes where Lucifer is supposed to be like this snake like serpent thing. It doesn't work. I really I like the use of practical effects in this film, but most of the visuals here with the CGI just doesn't work. And unfortunately, the one location they filmed in for most of this movie isn't all that interesting. So I do think that this film's visuals, though interesting at times, aren't as impressive as they possibly could be. I'm going to give the visual style another 5 out of 10. Then we have um, the score. The score is okay. Yeah, so the score just uh it's a bunch of like harmonic chanting mixed with rock music, and I do love a score like that. It's just unfortunate that it's the only thing holding up the movie. It's perfectly fine, and I do think that when it gets released on vinyl, I'll probably pick it up if it gets released on vinyl. Um, but I don't think this is going to save the film. I do think that I've heard better soundtracks, but this at least this soundtrack is decent enough. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. At the end of the day, this movie gets a 5 out of 10 for me. This film is just so meh. I mean, it's not awful, I guess. There is some redeeming factors to it. It's just not all that interesting at times, and the characters are not good. The performances are all over the place. The visuals are okay, and the score is decent enough. So, all these things combine for a meh time. I mean, if you're looking for an original story idea, I mean, I guess you could do worse than this. I would personally wait for this one to hit streaming or get to DVD. I wouldn't go see this in a theater. It's not really worth the watch. Anyway, that's what I think about The Devil Conspiracy. What do you think about it if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell to get notifications when I post videos. See you next time!